Coming up on a brand new edition of Tiger 411, we'll see if football could continue their winning ways when they hosted Elon for homecoming. Volleyball had a very busy weekend with 3 straight home matches. Could the Tigers remain unbeaten on the year at home? We'll let you know how the Tigers fared. Later in the show, women's basketball head coach Nikki Reed-Geckler stops by the studio to preview her team's season. You don't want to miss this episode of Tiger 411, and it starts right now. Hello, Tiger Nation, and welcome back into the Towson Sports Network studios for another episode of Tiger 411. I'm your host, Zach Maskovich. If you caught last week's Tiger football report, you saw in the Tiger tidbit that coming into this week's matchup with Elon, Towson football was 4-1 coming off a bye week under head coach Rob Ambrose. Tigers had a chance to improve to 5-1 coming out of that bye week and build a win streak on the year after taking down Delaware on the road back on October 18th. As I mentioned, the Tigers welcoming in Elon on Halloween weekend. It was also homecoming for the Tigers. This was the 4th all-time meeting between Towson and Elon, and the first as CAA rivals. For those of you keeping track at home, Towson is undefeated in the series. Towson's first possession of the game, Connor Frazier feels pressure, rolls out, floats one up to Andre Dessenberg, who outjumps Elon's Chris Blair for the touchdown reception, his first of the day, and Towson jumps out to an early 7-0 lead. Minutes later, the Tigers threatening again, give to Darius Victor over the left side into the end zone. The Tigers' offense was clicking early, already up 14-0 over the Phoenix on Victor's 9th rushing touchdown of the year. It wasn't only the offense that was playing well in the first half, the defense came to play also. Second quarter, Elon's quarterback Mike Quinn takes a snap. He's immediately met by Eric Handy, who blasts Quinn, causing him to lose the football. It's picked up by the Tigers' Drew Cheripko. That was Handy's first sack and forced fumble of the year. For Cheripko, that was his 3rd fumble recovery of the year. Huge play from the Tigers' front 7 to force the turnover and get the ball back. We fast forward now to the end of the second quarter. Frazier drops back, scans the field, hits Dessenberg on the slant for the touchdown, his 2nd touchdown reception of the day. Dessenberg had only 1 touchdown reception so far on the year. Coming into the game, he added 2 in the first half here. Towson went into the half up 21-6. Second half now, we saw a steady dose of number 7. Victor plants his foot in the ground, turns upfield, shakes off defenders, muscles his way for a 16-yard gain. He finishes with 153 yards on the day. We saw an example of how the front 7 was bringing pressure in the first half. Second half, it carried over. Cheripko slings down Quinn. That's his 6.5 sack on the year for the Northwest High School grad and Darnestown native Drew Cheripko. Elon would make things interesting at the end of the game, but a failed 2-point conversion and onside kick allowed Towson to hold on to the victory as they win by a 21-19 margin to improve to 4-5 overall. Frazier finishes with a career-high 187 yards passing. Here's what Coach Ambrose thought of his signal caller and Connor himself after the game.
You have seen firsthand the growth of Connor Frazier, and it's not always been pretty, but you've seen him get better and better and better. And he was putting the ball on time, on the money, consistently. And when he had time to throw the ball, he's as good as you've ever seen. As good as I've seen him. So that certainly made a difference in the game.
I think in the first half, we weren't really making too many mistakes. We were executing very well. It seemed like every play was working. And second half, like Coach will tell you later, we just kind of shot ourselves in the foot. The only reason we were stopping, or Elon was stopping us on the drives, was because we were committing penalties in the red zone. I made a bad decision early in the third quarter, so that was basically the difference between the two halves. The O-line played pretty good tonight. They picked up a lot of blitzes, and they played well. Vito picked up blitzes, ran well. I thought we executed pretty well in the first half. In the second half, we just got to get better mentally and execute our offense.
The Tigers now hit the road for a very tough matchup with one of the best teams in the CAA in the Villanova Wildcats. Tigers are going to have their hands full with Wildcat quarterback John Robertson, who is one of the most electrifying quarterbacks in the country. If you can't make the trip up to Villanova, Pennsylvania, don't you worry one bit. We'll have the game for you live and for free right here on the Towson Sports Network as Spiro Marikas and Ron Meehan bring you all of the action. Coverage starts at 6:30 with the Coors Light countdown to kickoff. Still to come on this episode of Tiger 411, we have highlights from volleyball's big weekend when they hosted 2 of the top 3 teams in the CAA. But when we come back, we'll be joined in studio by the head coach of the Tigers women's basketball team, Nikki Reed-Geckler. Tiger 411 continues right after this.
Virtual Wallet can help you be that person who's good with money. See what's free to spend, move money with a slide, save with a shake. Feel good about your decisions.
Brian Vickers, Aaron's sponsored driver. He doesn't just love racing, he lives it.
We got the paper! Woo!
His pit crew follows him everywhere. Oddly, so does his boss.
Right, sign that.
And his passion for racing is rivaled only by his passion for errands.
No credit needed. I'll take it.
Congrats.
Aaron's makes owning easy through lease ownership, so you can own the life you want.
You'll find it on the sidewalks of Little Italy and on the porches in Catonsville. You can see it when friends meet in Mount Vernon. It's pride. Pride in our city, pride in our people. That's why MedStar Health is building the most accessible healthcare system in the region to look after everyone from Lutherville to Locust Point. So no matter where you go, no matter who you are, you're never far from MedStar.
Inconceivable!
I'm the king of the world!
Thank you. Very little. I'll have what she's having.
Houston, we have a problem.
You talking to me?
Earmuff! Show me the mini! Say hello to my little friend.
Pepsi mini cans. Little can. Epic satisfaction.
When cold refreshment calls, Coors Light answers. Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Welcome back to Tiger 411. Joining us now in studio, the head coach of the women's basketball team here at Towson, Nikki Reed-Geckler. And Coach, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Zach.
Now, Coach, we just flipped the calendar over to November, and that only means one thing. Basketball season is finally upon us. You and your team will open up with an exhibition game against Stevenson Friday night here inside CQ Arena at 6 o'clock p.m. I know you and the girls have to be excited to get out on the floor for yet another year.
Definitely. The young ladies are biting at the bit. They're tired of playing against each other, and they're really ready for another competitor to come in here and push us. So we're looking forward to it.
Now, you just mentioned it. You get another team coming in here to play. So for a lot of the new faces on this team and the younger players getting acclimated to college basketball, it has to be good for them to play against another opponent and for you to see how they handle that.
A great opportunity to see our first test. You know, I'm always talking to our young women about adversity and being able to play through that. So I think we'll be able to see that on Friday. Love to see how they respond and how they really mesh with our upperclassmen.
Now, there are a lot of new faces on this team from last year, and there are some big losses, some shoes that you got to fill. You lose Tanisha McTiller, who's arguably one of the top 3 players to ever play here at Towson. You lose Nyree Williams, who was a force to reckon with down low in the blocks. First of all, before we get into the players returning, how do you go about replacing 2 names such as McTiller and Williams?
That's a difficult task. I don't know that we're going to be able to replace them, but the one thing we do have this year is a lot of depth. We do have 7 newcomers, and they're just hungry. They come out every day focused, ready to really show the world that they deserve to be here playing college basketball.
And then you bring back LaTorrey Hines-Allen, obviously the transfer from Virginia Tech, second leading scorer on the team last year, over 14 points a game. I know you have to be excited to get her back on the floor again.
I am, and Tori's been focused the entire preseason. She's just been working hard on her individual game as well as learning how to make those around her much better. So Tori's going to have a breakthrough year this year.
Now, Dominique Johnson in the past has played point guard for you. Is her role going to change a little bit on this team now that McTiller's gone? You kind of have, she can slide over into a shooting guard kind of role?
Definitely. If you watch Damo play, she definitely has an offensive package.
Yes.
Her mid-range game is great. She can hit deep threes. Last year we were all blessed with that half-court shot as well, which wasn't planned.
Yeah.
But, she has the ability to score off the bounce quite a bit. So we are going to move her over to the 2. We've got a dynamic freshman point guard that we're looking at really locking in a lot of time at that point position.
And then you bring back players such as Camille Alberson and Sierra Webb. Webb should be healthy this year, and she can always stretch the floor with her three-point game.
Definitely. I mean, Sierra's definitely done a great job of showing her mid-range game as well as her three-point shooting. So she actually has that confidence. When she steps on the court, you can tell she's a lot more confident. And Camille always surprises people with that first 3 she hits.
Yes.
So she's been very focused as well.
And then Markel Smith still coming back off. She always provides a huge spark on the team on the defensive end, and her ability to rebound always helps you guys out a lot.
Definitely.
Now, as we look forward, a lot of new faces, as you mentioned, 7 newcomers. Tell me a little bit about some of these new players and how they're gelling with the rest of the team early in the preseason.
I guess I'll start off at the top. I mean, our point guard, Breon Huey, is a dynamic point guard. Great handle, and the best thing, her basketball IQ is just tremendous. She knows how to make those around her better, and her focus really right now is to be in the top in the nation in assist. So players like Damo and Tori are happy to hear about that. I would probably say Shania Butler also has come out and been a pleasant surprise for us. Playing that 3 position, again, her mid-range game is excellent, and then Deja Thomas, also at 6'3", has been able to give us that good touch around the basket. And then we've got a couple of role players that are coming in as freshmen. We have Jordan Smith, who tore her ACL last year and who has come back with so much more focus. So I think our freshman class are going to be pretty good.
Well, I'm excited to see how they play when we get going in the season. Obviously, first chance to see them will be Friday against Stevenson, 6 o'clock p.m. We hope that a lot of fans come out to CQ Arena to check that game out. But after that, you open up the season with the WNIT, going to Penn State. I know that has to make you excited to play in a national tournament such as the NIT.
Definitely. A great step for the program, a great step for Towson, just to be able to play, like you said, in a national tournament. So we will open up down at Penn State, and the young women, right now we're just focused on the process like we always do. And then when we get there, it's just time to compete.
Yep, and then depending on the result of Penn State, we will see how many games you get to play here at home inside CQ Arena. But then after that, I don't want to jump too far ahead in the season, but you guys don't have another home game until after Christmas. So it's going to be a long stretch for the beginning part of the season with a lot of traveling for you guys.
Yeah, we're packing our bags up, and we'll be on buses and in airports quite a bit this first half. But hopefully, we'll be able to bring a couple of wins back with us as well.
Hopefully when you get back after Christmas and after the winter break, the students come back and we have a great women's basketball team, and they're excited about it, and they pack CQ.
Sounds great. I
All
hope
right.
so.
Coach, well, thank you very much for joining us. Good luck in the exhibition against Stevenson. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you so much, Zach.
Don't go anywhere. We still have more Tiger 411 coming up on the other side of this break.
You know how fast you were going?
Yeah, about 55.
Where are you headed at such an appropriate speed?
Across the country to enhance the nation's most reliable 4G LTE network. How's it working for you?
Better than ever. How'd you do it?
Added cell sites, increased capacity.
And your point is?
So you can download music, games, and directions for the road when you need them.
Who's this guy?
Oh, that's Charlie.
You ever put pepper spray on your burrito? I like it spicy, but not like, oh, spicy.
You always like this?
You have no idea.
AT&T, the nation's most reliable 4G LTE network.
Mariner Finance is a consumer finance company, so we offer personal loans.
Mariner Finance is a great place to work. It's a great thing for anyone with the entrepreneurial spirit.
Everybody in every office has an opportunity to achieve and grow.
Be your own leader. Be a leader amongst the fellow coworkers in your office.
The training and development that we do at Mariner Finance is one-on-one. Someone who has been there, done it, experienced it.
There is no better feeling.
Learn with us.
Grow with us.
Run with us.
You'll find it on the sidewalks of Little Italy and on the porches in Catonsville. You can see it when friends meet in Mount Vernon. It's pride. Pride in our city, pride in our people. That's why MedStar Health is building the most accessible healthcare system in the region to look after everyone from Lutherville to Locust Point. So no matter where you go, no matter who you are, you're never far from MedStar.
This is where the legends live, waiting for someone with better innovation. From the brand that reinvented the t-shirt comes the Under Armour Speedform Apollo. This is our rocket ship.
When cold refreshment calls, Coors Light answers. Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Welcome back to Tiger 411. I'm your host, Zach Maskovich. Volleyball has had this past weekend circled on their calendar for a long time. And no, not because they wanted to go trick-or-treating. It was because they were hosting 3 very important CAA matchups, and if the Tigers could go unbeaten, well, that would set them up nicely to potentially host the CAA tournament inside CQ Arena. But first, they had to play those 3 games. Up first for the Tigers was Northeastern on Thursday night. This was the first home game for Towson since October 11th. And when the Towson Tigers and Northeastern Huskies met earlier in the year, it was a 3-1 road win for Towson. They would love to get the season sweep over the Huskies. We're going to pick up the action midway through the first set. Huskies on the serve. Barbara Lopez sets it back to Saitawa Iosia. She just squeaks it in. Towson up 15-13 in the first set. Minutes later, Amy Schubert serving for set point. Tigers up 24-23. The teams trade volleys back and forth. Lopez sets up Lindsay Flaherty for the kill, and the Tigers take set 1, 25-23, and they go up 1-0. Late in the second set now, all tied at 19 apiece. Check out this power from Victoria Williams. Slams it off the Huskies' libero into the first row of the stands, and Towson goes up 20-19 in the second. Tigers going for set point in the second. Get a great dig there from Paige Sakarik. They work it over to Candace Stedman, who powers it through the Huskies' block attempt. And the Tigers take set 2, 25-22, and take a commanding 2-0 lead over the Huskies. Third set now, Stedman continuing her strong play for the Tigers. Gets the kill right there. Towson takes a late lead, 22-21. Match point now for the Tigers. Iosia and Lopez going to work it back and forth. Iosia slams it through the block attempt from the Huskies. The Tigers take set 3, 25-23, and the match 3-0 to improve to an impressive 11-0 at home on the year. Towson was back at it less than 24 hours later when they welcomed in first place Hofstra into CQ Arena on Halloween. The last time the two teams met, it was a 3-1 win for the Pride. First set, the Tigers are in the lead, up 10-5. You're about to see Barbara Lopez's signature move. Just when you think she's going to set it, don't think so. Walks it down for the kill. Heads up play there for the Tigers freshman. Towson now up 11-5. The Tigers would take the first set 25-18. Second set now, Tigers going for set point. Towson going to set up Saitawa Iosia on the bottom of your screen. She gets the kill. Towson takes set 2, 25-22, and head into the intermission up 2-0. But the Tigers would drop set 3 to the Pride, so we move now to the fourth set, all tied at 21 apiece. The Pride going to go for the kill and the lead up near the top of your screen, but they are denied by Williams and Flaherty. Point goes to the Tigers, and they take a late lead, 22-21. Match point now for Towson. Schubert on the serve, and this is going to look pretty familiar right here. Williams and Flaherty again come up with the big block as Towson upsets Hofstra 3-1 by winning the fourth set 25-21. Towson improves to an impressive 12-0 at home. Volleyball would get a break on Saturday, but Sunday they were back in action with a huge match against the College of Charleston Cougars. When these two teams met earlier in the year, Towson jumped out to a 2-0 lead before losing 3 straight sets to Charleston down at their place. And don't adjust your computer screens. Both teams are, in fact, wearing white uniforms, and a sunny afternoon makes for a sunny CQ Arena floor. Tigers' Barbara Lopez sets it across the court to Saitawa Iosia. That's off the face of the Charleston player. That one hurts both physically and on the scoreboard. Towson up 15-13 and took the first set 25-20. Second set now, Tigers up 7-4. Schubert on the serve, and she's going to hit a good ball here, and Charleston can't handle it. That's an ace for the junior from Edmonton, Canada. Tigers now up 8-4. We move ahead in the action. Towson still holding on to the lead. Iosia, she absolutely punishes this ball for the kill. Towson starting to pull away in set 2, up 18-15. The Tigers have set point in the second. Both teams trading volleys back and forth. Eventually, Barbara Lopez going to hit it back to Candace Stedman right here. Stedman just drops the shot in for the point, and Towson ahead 2-0. They're looking like they're going to cruise to their 13th straight home win and 9th match overall. But the third set was back and forth. Charleston going for set point. Stedman going to hit it a little too long right here, and the Cougars take set 3, 26-24. Towson still ahead 2-1, but remember, you must win 3 sets to win the match. We move now to the fourth set. Charleston now with match point, and they're going to knock it off Iosia's hand, and Charleston takes set 4 to tie things at 2 and force a 5th set. The Cougars carried that momentum over into the 5th and final set, and they took the match 3-2 after falling behind 2-0. An impressive win there for the Charleston Cougars. The loss snaps Towson's 8-match win streak and 12-match home win streak. Volleyball is back in action this weekend with 2 matches at William & Mary and at James Madison before returning home to face UNCW on November 14th. Be sure to get your tickets for the match right here on TowsonTigers.com or by calling 1-855-TU-TIGER. We have to take one final break, but we'll be back with more Tiger 411 right after this.
Virtual Wallet can help you be that person who's good with money. See what's free to spend, move money with a slide, save with a shake. Feel good about your decisions.
You'll find it on the sidewalks of Little Italy and on the porches in Catonsville. You can see it when friends meet in Mount Vernon. It's pride. Pride in our city, pride in our people. That's why MedStar Health is building the most accessible healthcare system in the region to look after everyone from Lutherville to Locust Point. So no matter where you go, no matter who you are, you're never far from MedStar.
Wise Market's ice cream plant is based in Sunbury, Pennsylvania, and locally owned and operated. We've been making our ice cream for nearly 50 years. We create roughly 70 flavors of ice cream right now. We use local ingredients, especially our cream, which is from our milk plant. The cream is what gives our ice cream a rich and creamy texture. Now, together with our customers, we've created a product called Peanut Butter Indulgence, which will be coming out this summer. It's a peanut butter ice cream with sea salt caramel swirl and chocolate-covered pretzel. How could you go wrong with that? Personally, I love our ice cream. If you come to our house at any given time, you'll find at least 5 packets of ice cream in our freezer. Our kids grew up eating Wise quality ice cream, and now we get to treat our grandchildren to it. It's been a pleasure for me to be tasting ice cream for over 40 years for Wise Markets, and I'm loving every minute of it.
This is where the legends live, waiting for someone with better innovation. From the brand that reinvented the t-shirt comes the Under Armour Speedform Apollo. This is our rocket ship.
Welcome back to Tiger 411. I'm your host, Zach Maskovich. We're just about out of time on this episode of Tiger 411. But before we go, let's take a look at all the action that's going on this week in Tiger Town. That's going to do it for this edition of Tiger 411. For the latest news on the Tigers, be sure to follow them on Twitter at Towson Tigers. And while you're at it, give me a follow at Zach Maskovich. A special thanks to Nikki Reed Geckler for stopping by the studio for a quick chat. Once again, I'm Zach Maskovich. Thanks for watching, and until next week, go Tigers!